So the core really is the powerhouse of the body. Above it, you've got your diaphragm, and below it, you've got your pelvic floor. So it's housed by two really important parts of the body. Every extremity is also linked to the core, and the core's main responsibility is to support the entire spine. So the core is so important. And it's one of the things that if the core is inactive or if it's not engaged properly, then again, other muscles are having to fire up and do the work that they're not meant to do. They're not designed to support the body the way that the core is. So a common sign of this is if you've got a weaker core, your lower back muscles tend to do the work, they become tighter, it can affect your movement, it can affect your pain levels, it can be really discomfort. So it's really important that we really learn how to engage the core, and the next couple of exercises are going to help do so. So the first exercise we're going to do is our floating table, and we're going to add a shoulder tap to it as well. So start off in your all fours position, make sure you've got a nice neutral spine, and it's really important that you keep that neutral spine the whole way through this exercise. You're going to tuck your toes, press your hands into the ground, find stability here first. You're then going to come light on one hand, tap the opposite shoulder. And you're just going to go from side to side. Now really try and brace your core here. Try and minimize that swaying from side to side. If this is it feels like it's not reachable for you, just drop the knees down towards the ground, pull the belly button in, and you're going to still do the shoulder taps, but work on that core engagement. So with the shoulder taps, it's really important that you try not to rush it. Whenever we rush it, we'll be all over the place, the core will become weak, and we'll fall into really poor movement habits. Now, the more that we move poorly, the more the brain will think that this is the normal pattern that we should be doing because we're constantly doing it over and over again. So take your time, nice and slowly, think about bracing that core, really slow it down. You can go as slow as you possibly want. Now, once you've found stability in that pose, you then can take it up another level. So let me show you what that'll look like. We're going to start exactly the same way. We're going to then tap one shoulder, tap the opposite knee. Tap one shoulder, opposite knee. And just notice the difference that you might have from going from side to side. So you tap one shoulder, return the hand, use the opposite hand to touch the opposite knee. Tap the shoulder, switch sides. Shoulder, knee, switch. And then we're going to take it up another level. Now, I don't want you to rush through these. These are exercises that you can slowly work on, and it's really important that you find that stability, the core engagement, before you take it on to another level. If you jump up too many times, you will come into those poor working patterns and you can cause yourself quite a lot of discomfort. So the next one, we're going to come back onto all fours, neutral position, press your head away from your bum, tuck the toes. From here, you're going to extend right arm, left leg, come in, tap, return. Opposite side, tap the knee, and then return. So this time we're not switching hands before we tap the knee. Give that a go. Now, to make it harder and harder, just keep dropping those knees lower to the floor, just keep them hovered off. When you lift yourself up higher, it becomes a little bit easier, but just make sure you don't lift your bum up too high that we are not actually engaging the core. So a really important thing that we need to remember when we come into movement is the body does get bored by doing the same movements over and over again. So it's really important that we keep challenging the body, both the mind and the body actually, and that we also make sure that we're still bringing a lot of play into our practice. Now, a really good way to challenge coordination, the core, and also to work through the scapular muscles, which tends to be a weakness in our shoulders, is to come into this creative plank sequence. So if you don't have yoga blocks, that's fine. Maybe get yourself some books, and you're just going to set them at different angles at the very front of your yoga mat. So let me show you how it looks like. You're going to start off in your plank position. Make sure you're pressing your head away from your bum. Nice strong core. From here, you're going to press one hand into the ground, pull the other hand up. You're going to walk over, press the hand into the block, pull the other hand up, and then we're going to move over to the other side. Pull without dropping the hips or over rotating and opening the chest to the side. What you then can do is challenge different heights, different angles. This means that the brain has to work, the shoulders are working in different angles, and we're also working at different load points as well. So it means the brain and the body has to be super adaptive in order to do this pose. Core work can be really love or hate, and I know that a lot of people don't like doing core work simply because they don't think they have a core. But if you do think that, try and find it. You can work to find it, and it is hard work, but just think of all the effort that this part of the body has to do in a day-to-day basis in order just for us to move. Let alone when we come onto a yoga mat and expect our body to come in different movements and come into other movement patterns that aren't as linear as our normal day-to-day life. So don't neglect the core. If you want to be able to move optimally and you want to make sure that you keep that mobility as you grow old, it's really important that we fire up that core.